Your life is yours to create.
Welcome to Cynic Critique, where we get real with cult films. I'm Thomas, and I'm here with my brother and co-host, my bro-host, Brian.
Hello.
And this week we enter people's dreams, but not like Nicolas Cage in Dream Scenario, but the films we'll be discussing, which are Waking Life and Paprika.
Okay, I kind of wish we were doing Dream Scenario now. I mean, we could have thrown that in as a third bonus. You never even said. Okay, so Waking Life.
Yeah, maybe I only exist in your mind. I'm still just as real as anything else.
Written and directed by Richard Linklater from 2002. Made on a budget of $2 million, according to the trivia section anyway on IMDb. I couldn't find any clear numbers elsewhere. And sadly only grossing $3,176,880 worldwide. The synopsis, as IMDb has it, a man shuffles through a dream, meeting various people and discussing the meanings and purposes of the universe. It sounds a little pretentious. I guess for some it will be. I quite enjoyed a lot of the conversations, to be honest. The cast, we have Wiley Wiggins as the main dreamer. Or I think he's maybe just known as the main character. I just wrote main and I can't remember why. It's essentially just him carrying the film.
Yeah.
You get various people throughout. I guess we'll list them as we go to them, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll let you start us off on this then.
I guess I should say that it is rotoscoped, meaning
Yeah.
animated over footage that is already filmed, which does add a very dreamlike quality, but at the same time, it can look very strange. And not in a good way.
I know what you mean.
There's some parts and it's done really well. I think it looks great, and then there's others and it shifts between qualities so much, and I don't know if that is to add to that. Well, I'm assuming
it's to add textures, yeah.
Yeah, it is to add to that dream and how other people dream and all that sort of thing, but at the same time, it can be a bit off-putting.
Yeah, I found it hard to watch.
Seasick?
No, but the background moves a lot more than the characters in the foreground at times, it feels. And I found that really disorientating in a way where it's like my brain was finding it hard to actually engage with what's on screen. I guess it's because it's a little different.
Yeah.
But as for the conversations in the film that the lead has as he wanders through his dreams, I found very interesting and could happily listen to that just on its own.
They could as a podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, they really could have. In fact, I think there actually is a podcast now called Waking Life, but I don't know what it's about. I think it's probably about Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh, not dreams.
No. I'm not sure. I don't have a clue. I never looked into it. I wrote for this that it's a philosophical tour through subconscious constructed by Richard Linklater, which I feel that's what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, you went straight to probably my worst thing with it, which is the rotoscope. I mean, I love the idea of rotoscope.
It's
I'm a
the
big fan.
first rotoscope, though.
Not ever, though. Just maybe as a feature,
it's the first feature film rotoscope.
Yeah.
Which Linklater seems to have loved because he did A Scanner Darkly.
Which is phenomenal.
Yeah, and then he did Apollo 10.5 Space Age Adventure.
Okay, I've not heard of that one.
From like 2010, I think it was.
Right,
I ain't got the year for that one for some reason. Something like that. Around that time, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I particularly liked the main character in this, how he's like trying to struggle.
Trying to
come to terms with this weird struggle of being so aware in his dream.
Yeah.
I mean, it even toys with the idea that he might be dead, which I feel is the theory that sticks best for me. I guess I like stories that are bleak, and anyway. I like stories that are bleak.
Yeah.
So the idea of him being dead made more sense to me than the idea of him seeing all these people in his dream.
Yeah.
I really struggle with dreams anyway. I haven't had many in my lifetime, so I have no real idea what they're like.
No.
The ones I have had have been quite realistic.
These two films are very confusing.
Yes.
Who dreams like this? Who dreams?
I don't know.
Yeah, Richard Linklater did put himself in this film as well.
Yeah, is it near the end? It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is he the one that's quoting an essay by Philip K. Dick?
Yeah.
Which is the author of Scanner Darkly, which then Linklater then did.
Yeah.
Right.
There's also a guy on the back of a boat in this as well.
Oh, he's got two parts?
Yeah. No, I don't think that's a speaking part, but he's there.
Yeah. What a guy. He loved the film that much, he put himself in it twice.
I know, right?
How many people are out there doing that? And I guess as we're on like Linklater references, there's Ethan Hawke in this, and Julie Delpy.
Yeah.
They play a couple in this that are seen, I think they're just in bed, if I remember right, where they fit.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what they're talking about.
No, I can't either. They're just
but
there.
I think the idea is that they're their characters from the Before trilogy. Before...
Yeah.
No, I'm not sure what the order is now. Is it Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, Before whatever the last one is?
I don't know. But yeah, they're their characters. Oh, that's what they're credited as for the film. I'm guessing that's who they are in this. There's nothing to say otherwise, I guess.
Alex Jones appears in this. He's a big radio guy in America. In this, he's a man yelling from a car megaphone about thought control, media, and societal manipulation. And that plays into the dream's chaotic flow of the film. Right. And I guess, in a way, resisting the idea of it being a dream. So, yeah, that was weird. I think Alex Jones now has some shade on him from current political climate. I'm not quite sure. I don't keep up. And I don't really know who he is as a person. I just know his name gets quoted a few times. I think he might have a podcast now.
Probably. Everyone's got a podcast
I guess
now.
Everyone's got a podcast now.
Who are these people?
I sit opposite one every week and I hate it.
Me too.
There's also a woman in this, isn't there? She's on the news. Is she on the news? She's on the telly somewhere, and she comes in with like things that are explaining what's happening in a way.
Yeah.
He always channel hops to a point, and it's always like an important part where she's explaining what's happening to him.
Yeah.
I can't remember who that is.
I don't have that listed.
It's a really bizarre film, and it's hard to sell even via a podcast, I guess, without just playing clips of some of the amazing like monologues that you get given through it. I would say you could happily just put this film on, and as long as you're listening, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Because I found what they said, the philosophy and theory about dreams and whatnot, to be more interesting than anything actually visually on screen.
Yeah.
And due to the weird animation of the rotoscope, I think performances are kind of lost.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because you're kind of looking at it at times and you're thinking, that's so strange. Or why was it better animated earlier than it is now? Just things like that.
The animation is pretty inconsistent. There's close-ups, well, they're not even close-ups always, but there's shots or rotoscoped scenes where it's almost picture perfect, and then there's some where it's like very minimal on detail.
Yeah. But if I'm right, it was done by a different crew. I don't know, it's not all the same people all the time doing it. The
film was shot with real actors, then a team of 30 plus artists drew over the footage, adding dreamlike texture and movement. It was shot live in just 6 weeks on mini DV, then animated over 15 months at 12 frames per second using Sabiston's custom Rotoshop tools before transferring to a 35mm print.
Yeah, I saw that it was 3 weeks to shoot, 3 weeks to edit, and 15 months to animate.
Right.
16 and a half months altogether.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I mean, it was made on $2 million as well, so that's spread that across that.
Yeah.
That's a film almost anybody could fund. I mean, I'm stretching that, but you get the idea. Yeah. Over the amount of time, divide 2 million by how many months? 17?
16 and a half months.
I mean, it's still a big sum, but it's more manageable compared to other films. Steven Soderbergh's in here somewhere.
Yeah. Interviewed on TV.
Right, okay. Because I have a note, it says the film features well-known intellectuals from Richard Linklater, who's the director of this. I mean, I'm not saying he's not an intellectual, but I don't think when people say intellectuals, you think writer-directors. Steven Soderbergh's one of the other names. And then I don't actually know who David Souza and Louis Mackey are, but I'm guessing they're actually to do with philosophy, because it says that they're adding authenticity to its philosophical conversations.
Right.
But I think this film is very pseudo-intellectual in its conversations. They're the sort of deep conversations that you would have with a close friend at midnight when you've just seen something weird and probably go like, hey, do you have a dream about so-and-so? What does it mean? And then you go off on this weird tangent about your own beliefs of dream logic.
Do you have a dream of Monica Bellucci?
I'm not David Lynch. Where'd that come from?
Dreams.
Did you have a dream of Monica Bellucci?
No, I had a dream of David Lynch asking me about Monica Bellucci.
Was he drinking coffee and puffing cigarettes?
Of course he was.
Great stuff. He's still David Lynch even in our dream.
If anyone's going to be wandering around in people's dreams, I think it's it.
I think he died specifically to do it.
Wow.
What?
Possibly. Oh, you mentioned Edgar Allan Poe earlier, because that's where this gets its title from.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I mentioned that and never thought to say anything about it.
I think it's the poem Dream.
I couldn't tell you.
And it's the line, we're better than cold reality of waking.
Ah, right, yeah, the cold reality, yeah.
Yeah. Now I kind of wish I'd called it Cold Reality.
Or a prequel or a sequel or just another film with a similar theme.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd not thought of that. That would be pretty decent. I should have said this actually when I said Linklater was in it. They have his pinball machine in this near the end when he's seen. And the pinball machine is the same one from his film Dazed and Confused. He owns the pinball machine apparently.
Nice.
And the score display even flashes the iconic dazed smiley face instead of numbers. So, which I didn't catch. And Linklater's daughter is the little girl in the film's opening. Laurie Lindtaker. I've got written. I don't know if I've made a typo. Have I?
I think you might have.
What do you have?
What do I have?
Yeah, because Laurie Lindtaker is an easy typo I could make.
For a start, it's Lorelei Linklater.
Yeah, well, Laurie would be short for Laurie.
You know her personally.
No.
I remember looking at this film ages ago because Ethan Hawke is top at cat.
Did you see this? This is about, I guess, problem with the animations changing. Apparently it shifts stylistically every few minutes from ultra-realism, watercolour, cartoon, cubism. Apparently the idea is to reflect the fluidity of dreams.
Right.
I don't think I've ever had a dream that's moved that fluid from one thing to something else like that. And now I've found a bit about the 3 weeks to shoot, 3 weeks to edit.
Yeah.
And the Edgar Allan Poe line. I mean, that's all I actually have on trivia.
Yeah.
Oddly, this is a film I've heard in name and seen people recommend on various places online, but
Yeah.
never with context as to why they recommend it or what the film was about.
No, I remember it being on a list of great films from the 2000s,
Yeah.
I think. And it listed Ethan Hawke there as well. So I was like, oh,
Oh,
great. An
I know.
Ethan Hawke movie to watch.
And he's top billed on IMDb, isn't he?
Yeah, so even when you look it up, you're like, awesome.
Yeah.
Main guy. Not
And
the main
I
guy.
had no idea who the actual lead was, and I think we've seen him in something else.
I think they're in Dazed and Confused.
That wouldn't surprise me. I've not seen Dazed and Confused.
Neither have I, to be honest. But yeah, but if I'm right, there weren't really much.
No. The one thing I did like about this, though, is the fact that the movie's ideas driven. You know, it's not plot driven. It's not even character driven. It's driven by people's ideas as they share theories and perspectives and their own truths, I guess.
Yeah.
So, like, hearing their story, or whatever you want to say, is pretty cool.
Yeah. It's a very unique film, I know that much.
Yeah, I could watch this again.
Yeah.
Well, I could try and watch it again, but I'd definitely listen again.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, it'd probably be a better podcast now.
That'd be quite a decent podcast idea, actually. Just someone, like, exploring dreams.
Yeah.
In a
audiobook.
Philosophical sort of way, anyway. But I would recommend this film. I feel like I'm not sounding positive on it, but it's very hard to talk about with how maybe quoting some of their dialogue and whatnot, and I don't have any of their dialogue at hand.
No.
But there was some really well articulated framing in this from people's, like, monologuing.
Yeah.
I do remember there's a couple in this. They're in a cafe. It's not a particularly loud scene, but they're like background characters, but we're like listening in on their conversation, and they're having quite an interesting conversation about theory or something now. I can't remember, but that was quite an interesting scene.
Yeah. To be fair, it's just a compilation of interesting scenes.
Yeah. One scene doesn't really link to the next in a
No.
way, and that's where it gets a bit muddy, I guess.
But I appreciate its experimental filmmaking.
Is there anything else you want to add on this, or are you happy to move on?
Don't feel I can add much more to this, really.
Okay.
Quite a difficult film.
It is, but I really do think people should check it out. Anyone interested in dreams, because I know people are, check it out. Anyone interested in philosophy and those weird, deep conversations, check it out.
Yeah. If you do not like them people who say, let me tell you about my dreams, definitely don't watch this.
Or do, just for the philosophy behind it.
Maybe that'd help them. They want to hear about people's dreams from that point on.
Well, they say stories build empathy.
Does it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a famous theory.
That's weird. I love stories. I've got no empathy.
Apparently, reading's one of the strongest ways to build empathy. Reading fiction and so on.
Interesting.
And watching films is a similar thing, so it does work through that as well. But people don't seem to engage the same with the film. Most people are very surface level offended.
Just insulting everyone there, right?
Yeah. That's what to throw shade. That was me.
Yeah, I thought so. Shall we move on?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
So, Paprika from 2006.
17回特設会場でございます。
ダメだ17回に用はない
Director and writer Satoshi Kon, co-written by Shishi Minakami, and based on the novel by Yasutaka Tatsutsu. And it's on a budget of 3 million yen, and it grossed, of course, this is in dollars worldwide, $964,937. And it stars, I'll read the Japanese and English language. So Megumi Hayashibara and Cindy Robinson are the voices of Dr. Asuka Chiba and Paprika. Akio Otsuka and Paul St. Peter are the voice of Detective Toshima Konakawa. Katsuna Tsuhori and David Lodge are Dr. Torutaro Shima. Toru Furuyu and Yuri Lowenthal are Dr. Kosoku Tokita. Koichi Yamadera and Doug Holt as Dr. Mario Osanai. Toru Amori and Michael Forrest as Dr. Saishiro Inu. And Daisuke Sakaguchi and Brian Peacock as Kei Himaru. And finally, the synopsis. When a machine that allows therapists to enter their patients' dreams is stolen, all hell breaks loose. Only a young female therapist, Paprika, can stop it. Paprika is the guise Dr. Chiba uses in people's dreams.
Did you have the budget for this?
Yeah, I read that out before I did cast.
Yeah, sorry, I got lost reading the cast on my own.
Alright.
I was just going along with you to see if I could help with pronunciation, but I don't think I could have done any better.
Luckily for me, I say luckily, it makes me sound like I did them all alright, but I was just thinking about...
Wrestlers.
Yeah, the Japanese wrestlers.
I had a lot of fun with this film.
Yeah.
Interestingly, I prefer it to Waking Life, even though Waking Life I think is more my thing.
Yeah?
Yeah. But where this film lost me is I don't feel it explains enough of how the dream world enters reality through that DC Mini. Yeah, I don't think that's particularly well explained because there's like a dream engine that they refer to that the DC Mini is just a part of.
Yeah.
And again, the technology side doesn't get explained as much as I'd like.
No.
But there is a great premise here and it has me want to read the novel.
Yeah.
Now I know there's a novel. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Also, it's the design of the dream world that isn't always great.
No.
But I guess that's more to do with the antagonist's design of his dream, right? Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's because it's like a weird circusy thing that parades around constantly in the dream world. I think my favourite character, though, was the detective who doesn't like films.
Yeah.
Because he was like a failed film student. You learn that or something. It's like, wow, okay. Because you visit his dream and it goes through like various like cliche scenes of films like Tarzan. I recognise the bit on the train where he's struggling with the gun, and I want to say it's from Russia with Love, but I can't find anything about that. I'd like to also admit that anime isn't really something I follow or truly understand as a medium. I feel if I like an anime, it must be good because there's not many I watch or want to watch.
Yeah.
One of my favourites is, I can't remember what it's called.
Paranoia Agent.
Yes, and you said this is the same guy as Paranoia Agent,
Yeah,
and that is a phenomenal politically charged miniseries about identity, and I think it's brilliant.
Yeah. If I'm right, that goes pretty weird towards the end as well.
Yes, it's quite metaphorical in its end.
Yeah.
Like, you have to understand what it's trying to say through its imagery, and that's something I really liked about it.
Yeah.
I think this is I'm not sure if it's the writer now or the director, but they also do Perfect Blue.
That is the director.
Which was supposed to be live action, but it became an animated feature when he didn't have the budget.
Yeah.
I do think we'll be covering that in the future. I just don't know how imminent, because I watched that earlier this year and had a lot of fun with it. It's a great thriller film based on a series of novels. But yeah, because it's mostly the design of anime I don't particularly like. That art style that makes it the genre, I guess.
Yeah.
It's something I don't particularly gel with very well. I don't know what it is. But for the most part, I had a lot of fun with this.
Yeah.
I actually quite like the duality of Paprika and Dr. Cheetah, is it?
Chiba.
Chiba. I was thinking of the wrestler Cheetah.
Hikaru Shida.
Yeah.
You know, when you go on about the end to this and how it gets a bit confusing, I think it is because Satoshi Kon, he had to shorten a lot of it, like take stuff out, and he didn't really adapt it fully.
Yeah.
And while adapting it, he did also add in other stuff from the works of Yasutaka.
Oh, right, okay. Like referencing and stuff, because there's a lot of referencing in this to other things.
Possibly. It wouldn't surprise me if it's more references, but it sounded like he might have added in those to the plot element and whatnot. I don't know. It didn't really say, and I don't really know the Paprika novel enough to say what's what.
Yeah.
But yeah, it did get altered. I think it was this. There was a manga based on the novel, and then after the movie...
A manga based on the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me. This is also a film that helped influence Christopher Nolan's Inception as well.
Yep.
Due to the dream mechanics and city-bending sequences, apparently.
Yeah, and apparently other references as well, such as how Page's character was dressed in Inception.
Ah, okay.
Is quite similar to Paprika as well.
And I guess the idea of the DC, the dream machine, because obviously they needed a machine to step into dreams in the film.
Quite a few references. Yeah. Like someone said, like, it's been really surprising if the visuals from this.
Oh, he will have some of them for sure.
I'll be honest, I think I prefer this.
I was just about to say the same. I was like, I like a lot of Nolan's films, but they always feel like ideas that he's done that I've seen elsewhere.
Yeah.
The opening carnival sequence includes many Easter eggs as well. Like I said, there's many scattered throughout to Japanese cinema. Homages to Akira, Godzilla, and other cinematic icons hidden apparently within its imagery.
Yeah, there's movie posters for Satoshi Kon's own films in here as well.
Yeah. And there's concept art from his unfinished film Dreaming Machine.
Yeah. That's
hidden in the Dream Parade sequence somewhere as well. And Kanakawa, at one point, is dressed like Akira Kurosawa, with the hat, glasses, and a full auto vibe. And there's references to famous films starring Gregory Peck The Roman Holiday.
Nice.
This is something I didn't understand and I was supposed to look into, and I've forgotten now I've read it. Vocaloid voice fusion. The haunting soundtrack actually features Vocaloid-generated vocals, first in a feature animation. I wondered if you'd seen out about that.
No.
Okay, Vocaloid is basically to like highly express singing voices. Just input the melody and the lyrics, and Vocaloid AI transforms your computer into something. So it sounds like early use of AI to enhance vocals or to create a singing voice.
Right.
And that was... Oh, did you say the year?
2006.
Yeah.
No. It's set in 2012.
Right, okay. Is that when Inception came out?
No. That's when Dark Knight Rises came out.
All right.
2010.
Inception. Wow, is it that old?
Yeah, 15
Still old. I was a man when it came out, and I'm an older man. Apparently, the film pioneered Vocaloid vocals.
Right.
One of the earliest mainstream examples, apparently. And the composer is Susumu Hirasawa. It's somebody that Con regularly works with on his films.
Yeah.
And they blended electronic, orchestral, and even traditional motifs into the film's sound fingerprint.
Yeah. He also worked on Paranoia.
Such a great little anime series.
I think nearly everyone on this worked on it.
And the Dream Parade, the frogs, the robots, and the dolls, all the director's invention, not from the novel.
Yeah.
And that upsets me.
Yeah.
I really wanted it to be in the novel. But I guess it means I'm going to have a whale of a time when I read that book. I just hope I can find it in English. I haven't actually started looking yet.
I believe it was.
I hope so, especially because I know the film's quite popular and successful.
Yeah. If I'm right, this was supposed to be done in the 90s, but he couldn't do it. So he did
weird.
Perfect Blue instead.
Right, okay. Odd. I mean, he wanted to do Perfect Blue live action.
Yeah.
Ah, found it. It is Bond it's referencing. So I bet it is From Russia With Love on the train.
Yeah.
A standout visual touch, the opening montage nods to Roman Holiday, Bond, Tarzan, and film literally reshapes cinematic memory.
Incredible.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really interesting film with quite an array of characters spread out, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I remember the Radio Club bartenders. They are voiced by the writer of the novel and the director of this film.
That's an awesome little touch.
Yeah.
I love stuff like that.
Though if you ask me which one
That's
voices which, I couldn't.
You don't have a clue.
No.
What's weird for me with this film is I don't feel there's anything at stake early on. I mean, it says that the device has been stolen and someone gets murdered, I guess, due to it through their dream, but I don't feel there's any stakes there for some reason.
No.
And then by the end of it, it's like, we have to stop it. The dream world is merging into our reality. And it's like, that's cool and all, but how?
Yeah. You're just thinking, this started with just someone stealing something.
Yeah.
Now it's gone to...
I don't want to spoil the twist either for the people that haven't seen this, but I think there's a pretty good reveal in this.
Yeah.
That works pretty well. Then I feel there's like I won't say, but I think the narrative twist plays out quite well in this.
But yeah, I kind of know what you mean when you say that. Don't really feel like there's much at stake at the beginning. And then they're kind of investigating it for a bit, and then you kind of, I don't know. But it is oddly compelling.
Yeah, and it opens up before you realise it's opened up. Do you know what I mean? The plot. Like I said, it starts with the murder thing and the stolen DC Mini.
Yeah.
And then it gets to about the midpoint and you realise just now the danger.
Yeah.
It's like, why didn't this feel quite aware of the danger at the beginning? Why is it only now feeling more threatening?
I think it's because you see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
Or it actually delivered some stakes when it hit that point as well. But I feel like there could have been a bit more focus on it within the film itself. Just a narrative focus to really shape it up a bit more.
I guess that's where maybe making it into a miniseries like Paranoia Agent would have been good.
Probably. Or maybe it would be better in live action.
I don't know if it would be better in live action. I'd prefer it live action because I like to actually see the human element, and animation kind of strips that away unless they really focus into the psychology of a character in the animation, then they feel alive. Or I'm already familiar with that character via other mediums.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this is an animated version I can dig. But I very much like a human element, which is why I prefer live action over animation.
Yeah.
Because I think this could have worked really well, actually, live action, and dreams be done in animation.
Probably.
Akin to Waking Life.
Yeah.
Not without necessarily the rotoscope, but that's just my opinion. But I had a lot of fun with it. I would say watch this one over the other one. There is something strangely compelling about this. It has a charm that I can't explain.
Yeah.
Maybe if I was more fluent in animation and anime in general, I might be able to pinpoint what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess doing this podcast, maybe I hope to explore more anime as a personal goal.
Goals in life, eh?
Yeah. I mean, one of my goals in life is to just watch more foreign film.
Yeah.
Less English language film.
Well, there you go. More anime.
So, no one's going to see me for a month. I'm going to get that Crunchyroll or whatever it's called and just stream anime for 6 months. Is it Crunchyroll?
Something like that.
You know what I mean? I'm not even sure if it's a real thing. illegal thing, should I say.
I don't know which one I'd say over other, to be honest. If I was recommending it, would really, really come down to the person.
Yeah,
because-
who you're talking to.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
for me, I can't really.
These are very different.
Yeah, like you, I kind of lean towards Paprika to watch though, but I think it's because it's. I won't say there's more to it, but it's just a bit more.
There's actually a character to follow.
Yeah,
I mean, you followed the main dreamer in Waking Life.
but like I said, I could happily just listen to it.
But yeah,
So I don't know. Maybe listening to Waking Life, you realise what actually watching it helps.
well, maybe like it actually connects better.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Is there any more you want to say on this?
I don't think so.
Okay, we should maybe get a theme for this. Questions. I've got a full 10 this week, I think.
Or 11, just to make up for it.
Did Waking Life mess with your head in any way, or did you just let it wash over you?
Well, I didn't wash over.
So it messed with your head in some way.
It didn't
You
mess with my
yeah,
head.
because you enjoyed the intellectual flexing of its conversations.
Oh, I enjoyed
So,
that,
yeah.
but it didn't mess with my head.
No, but you know what I mean. You're thinking about it. That's what I
It
mean.
didn't mess.
If you're thinking about it, it's messing with your head in a way.
No, it's not. It's just
Okay.
something to think about.
Well,
It don't mess with your head. Mess with your head, and then you don't understand what's happening.
do you think the people in Paprika are more messed up by their own imagination or by the tech?
I think their own imagination. Like that film was wild.
Yeah. If you could enter your own dream with a gadget like in Paprika, would you?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. Did you connect more with the dreamlike feeling of Waking Life or the wild chaos of Paprika?
I did enjoy the wild chaos, but at the same time, like, too loud in Paprika, man.
Yeah. Was there any part in any film that made you go like, I wish I'd thought of that?
Not like now.
Okay. So no dreams in your ambition then?
No.
Do you think these films have something to say about the way we escape reality, or are we just overthinking it?
I think we're overthinking it.
Okay. If you found I think I know what you're going to answer here. If you fall asleep and found yourself in Paprika's dream world, which character are you going to team up with?
I was looking for him. I can't be bothered to find his name. It's just such a mess looking at man. Yeah, I'm off with that chief of staff, Dr. Schumer.
The little guy that just watches the monitor, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
That dude was weird, man.
Well, mine would be the detective. He had film history, and I love that.
Can't find what I was actually looking for.
I think I know who you mean. Becomes the weird robot guy.
Yeah. He's Dr. Tokita.
I was so close to getting to the...
I've got them all on note to do they are.
Yeah, so have
That's why it's a bit of a mess, because it's right under the
I. Yeah,
line.
and then you've got their English
Yeah,
voice
I've
actor
got it
as well.
all there.
Okay. Did you find Waking Life deep or a load of philosophical fluff?
It's kind of a bit of both.
I wouldn't say it was philosophical fluff, but I wouldn't say it was deep. But I feel it was close to along the lines I'm thinking of. You know, like, I'm quite a thoughtful person.
Eh?
By thoughtful, I mean I'm deep in thought, not that
Right.
I'm thinking about you. I've
Yeah.
got you covered if you need it. No, I'm
Yeah.
not that sort of thoughtful.
No, that's what I thought.
Do you think Paprika's technology is a danger we might actually face, or is it pure sci-fi?
Pure sci-fi.
Okay. I think we're kind of close to maybe being able to see people's dreams visually.
I'm going to say.
So I don't, maybe not necessarily entering
I'm
yet.
going to say,
but-
I'm sure I saw a thing actually like the other year
Yeah.
about them apparently getting images from people's
Yeah.
dreams. I thought, nah.
And now question 10. I thought of one, but it's basic as all hell. But I could ask this every week, which makes it a nice one. Which was more fun to watch with a few snacks?
Paprika.
Yeah.
That film's wild.
And now, just off my cuff, actually, I've just thought, which one do you think's a better interpretation of dreams?
Waking Life.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, if there's some weird giant robot parading around in someone's dream, like,
Firing missiles.
yeah, or whatever, like, get them out of it, you know?
Well, okay. That's all I have. So, do you have any closing thoughts?
We haven't done it in a while, but did you have a favourite scene in either?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that opening montage to Paprika where we see him go through all the films.
Oh, wow.
If it's not that, it's the bit where her friend appears towards the end. Is the dream worlds colliding with the real world? And he's just like a big-ass robot walking down the street firing missiles trying to help. Because it's so stupidly dumb that it stands out and makes it so memorable. I don't think I'll ever forget it. Because he gets kind of stuck. And then you get the flashback to near the beginning when she had to help him out the elevator because he was too big and got stuck. And it's just so funny. Wow, what's yours?
Mine's actually the Richard Linklater, the pinball machine.
Okay. I was just about to say yours is in Waking Life, and it's when you see Ethan Hawke.
Yeah, yeah. I saw Ethan Hawke and I thought, what a cool guy. I remember when he was hunting down Nicolas Cage in
is that-
Lord of War.
Is it when you saw Ethan Hawke? Is that when you were putting them graffiti charges sent to the police? Because you were offended that somebody drew over Ethan Hawke?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, thought so.
Yeah.
Do you have any more to say?
No.
Okay. Do you mind if I plug my new little project?
Yeah.
Okay, I've wrote a zine. I guess it's like a magazine. It's independent. I've written it myself, edited it myself. It's a little 14-page A5 digital zine There is a print-off version available if you want it. I guess it's like me walking you through my personal curation of film and ideas. The first article in there is a personal piece about me and how I fell in love with Batman in cinema. I then have an article about Val Kilmer, more as a way because he's passed and he definitely had like fingerprints in my DNA. And then I also wrote a piece about David Lynch because he's somebody else we lost this year who was quite impressionable on me in a personal way as well, and I thought people might be interested in reading those. Like I said, they're only about 3 little pages of A5 each, I would say. Like I said, there is a print-off version if you wish for it to be print. My personal choice, if you wanted to have it, it would be the original digital with the black background, white text. That's the way I designed it, but I put it out as a reader-friendly version with a white background and black text. And then you can get both those versions of print-offs, and you can basically line them up, fold it over, staple up the centre, and you've got a little pocket magazine on the go. There's a little page of recommendations in there. There's a tiny little analysis of Under the Silver Lake, which is a brilliant film from the other year. And then I thought I'll have a go at pairing like an album or a piece of music to a film, so I went with an EP from an indie band called I the Mighty with a ghost story, which I think is a really great emotional film as well. I thought they blended together really well. I already have an issue 2 in the works, but I'm hoping to release one every 2 months if that's cool. And if you want to find it, there will be my Ko-fi link in the description. It's free or pay what you want. There's no pressure to pay. Just take the free option and have a fun time reading it, maybe. I hope it's fun anyway. And if you don't, get back to me with ideas of what you'd like me to write about, or if there's anything you think I should be interested in to write about, because I'm open for ideas in a minute. So yeah, it's called Cynic Critique Zine Machine. It's issue 1. It launched last week, now I guess from you hearing this episode. But yeah, please check it out. The link will be in the show's description. And I guess now I just do the classic sign-off.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for joining us this week as we've wandered through dreams, chased meaning through shifting images and blurred thoughts. We can be found at cynic_critique on X and Instagram and cynic-critique on Blue Sky. Next time, we will be trading dream logic for moral clarity and see what happens when a symbol like Superman has to carry the weight of the real world as we discuss 3 animated Superman features we believe may be based on the comics inspiring James Gunn's Superman. Thank you and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Did you ever think that it would end like this?